let you call the action.
DS Chaotix is the one with the grab. This here is the last chance for DS. 40 seconds on the clock. Meeting heavy resistance. Denied. Game is over. slUtTer and KaTO make the return. It is back 31 seconds. Ain't going to be enough time to bring it home. It would take a miracle. But the DarkSide team going to pray for a miracle from the Axis gods. Primer with the grab. 23 seconds. Takes a Luger shot to the back of the head. Skis down. Primer machine gun fire all over. And then Mozart right there plays the keys of war and lays him down in the field. It is over. 11 seconds. DeathTouch. Justice hold off DarkSide for the full time on the clock, and it's going to give them a nice time right there to bring their offense and try to time the game up tonight. 2-1, and it's over. Allies take the win. DT hold off DarkSide. Not an easy task.
Not an easy task at all, especially with the offense that we saw in the second half of the first round, Warwitch. I really thought DarkSide was going to be able to get this. But DeathTouch's defense for the second time around seemed to get warmed up, and really, they were never in any kind of real danger. DarkSide did get a couple grabs, but DeathTouch always near the documents, always able to kill the DarkSide offense and return those documents to the top rightfully placed where they belong. And I'm just gotta say, I'm impressed with the way that they not only are be able to hold off the DarkSide offensive, but also able to counter-strike by reclaiming that forward deployment flag.
You know, absolutely. Quick break for station identification here. TSN.
There is sauerkraut in my lederhosen.
Yeah, I'm DS here. And we return to the game. Here's the rundown for you. Back in the game and good to go. I am TSN Warwitch. With me on the mic, your allied Shoutcaster. TSN Justice from Paradigm Ship. DT Axis. Allies DS. I've got a lock right here on the DT defense now moving into the shipping hallways. They're going to try to lay down the hurt. DS Rim right here, likely a soldat. Very likely indeed. Now moving inside. He is going to hold the position with Primer and friends. They are now moving into the vents themselves and preparing to engage the incoming DT Axis team. Back to you.
Well, I'm watching the fight over the forward deployment flag here. Looks like DarkSide does remain in control of that flag, so DeathTouch is respawning back in the original spot. However, they do have the shipping door planted with Prodigy watching guard, a medic. Not going to let any DeathTouch guys get in there and defuse now. Or, I'm sorry, DarkSide guys. Fighting around and inside near the flag, but DarkSide does remain in control. Warwitch, DeathTouch Prodigy trying to make a difference here, but going 3-on-1, not gonna make a lot of it, if any at all. And DarkSide, Shams, Chaotix remain in control and are able to resupply themselves and their teammates. Looks like DeathTouch is once again respawning back in the original respawn position. Let's take it away.
You know, a vital thing in there, we talked about it, keys to the game. DS Shams right there taking the extra time to drop a grenade on the corpse of DeathTouch. He realizes that any Axis left behind, any DeathTouch member left in position, wounded or not, can come back and prove to be the vital person that can grab the documents. DarkSide have left the flag behind. They are now moving out and in to the north connection. They're out in the snow. They're bringing the offense. They're going to try to rush the incoming Axis team. DeathTouch right there at their own bunker. But no, it's just not going to work out for them. DeathTouch come a little bit too hard and roll them over. A DeathTouch train of destruction. And we've got the Axis now finally, DT capturing the shipping hallways. And a sort of medics and Leutmans now moving up into the service door itself. Now going to move in and make their surgical strike. Oh! Game is over! Rim right there from DS just obliterates not one but 3 incoming DT members. Ow! Shazam! Booyah! Gotta hurt. Back to you.
Shazam indeed, Warwitch. That was a big blast. However, DarkSide Best left standing once again. Always the last guy, I seem to notice. Best the Panzerfaust on top near the documents as DarkSide not losing control of the situation, despite DeathTouch's big offensive push, and they're able to also mimic the DeathTouch defense by keeping the 2 men up on top. However, instead of the medic-Lieutenant combination, they have the Lieutenant in Shams and the Panzerfaust soldier in Best. It looks like there is a fight back for the shipping halls and the forward deployment flag, Warwitch, so I'll let you take that away.
Well, the fight ends up with DeathTouch. I cannot speak. At least I'm not calling him Diamond Sword. DeathTouch right there. Gaining the control of the shipping flag. Now they've got control. We've got aezo, SamsteiN, and companions now. KaTO and Prodigy are now moving in a loop. They're gearing up for more of their comrades, obviously waiting for something. Now moving in different locations, they are splitting up. Some into the service doorways, some taking other routes. DT, aezo, and friends, they are now moving a phalanx of fingered axis soldiers. Moving now to the Allied fortress. The Allies reclaim the shipping hallways, but we got a plant right here from the Axis incoming DT team. Make the plant. The red glow is now on the fortress wall, and the dynamite is down. Any attempt to make a disarm is not yet seen. DS right here on the Allied defense, looking for engineers, and we got an objective grab. A very quick grab from DT slUtTer. He is a medic, but it's not going to avail him justice with the grab, trying to bring it home. Machine gun fire returned by Chaotix. Another grab was past the action. Back to you.
Following Prodigy, he gets down near the fortress wall right as it blows with Nick, but decides instead to make his way into near the service door, getting cut down by the defense. The documents are returned, but we have another grab. DT KaTO making his way through down near to the service door there. He's all alone. I don't see any DarkSide defense. However, they may be lying in wait ahead and following him through the twisting corridors down there.
There they are.
Which he does get shot down from behind.
Oh!
Chaotix returns the Allied document right before getting cut down by an offensive grenade. That was a big move. Chaotix, perfect timing, Warwitch. Perfect timing.
Very big play. Chaotix right here with a score of 76, demonstrating that not only is he a monstrous fragger, but he brings the return back just in time, sacrificing his life. If he had not made the return, I guarantee you that there would have been the grab and the point for DeathTouch. Gotta be just a terrible moment for DT right there, but a moment of celebration for Chaotix and the DarkSide team. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remain, and the action on the upper tier continues right here in position. Axis with a grab, and let's try to pick up the action. It is taken and then returned. DT slUtTer now with a reverse grab. He's got it again, but he's taken some heavy machine gun fire from long range. Is now going to perch behind a series of boxes on the upper tier. Going to get chased down by DS Primer. Primer is all over him. Primer and slUtTer. slUtTer goes down. He's been horde in the field by Primer, and it's over. Who just bitch slaps him aside and says, "Live documents, ho! You ain't taking him home." Allies win. Back to you.
SamsteiN then turns around and says, "What you talking about, Primer?" and makes some vengeance. Avenges his teammates' loss, grabs the documents, hops down, but craters. Poor Richie cratered, and the documents are returned. I don't see, for the first time in a long time, a DeathTouch player is not... Oh, I spoke too soon, as slUtTer gets back into the action. slUtTer and Mozart now on top, having the documents. slUtTer drops down, for some reason, into the awaiting crosshairs of the defense, but manages to sneak his way down the ladder, now moving through the service corridor hallways here, into the maze, into that little room with all the boxes, going towards what appears to be the south tunnel, Warwitch, south tunnel. He's now outside, near the half track. I'm not seeing any kind of DarkSide defense, so this may be the point that DeathTouch needs to get back and tie this game 1-1.
2:42.
And it does indeed look like, with 2:40 on the clock, game over. Game is now tied 1-1, Warwitch, in what is gearing up to be a classic.
You know, that last round, in respect to DarkSide, jonez had dropped, and in the last several minutes there, DarkSide playing one man down. But such are the ways in love and war, and you've got to just adapt as best as you can. However, DeathTouch right there, able to bring it home and score the cap on the documents. The score now 1-1 in what we call tonight an epic matchup here on TSN. The Team Sportscast Network. What a show, what a game. I'm Warwitch. We've got Justice over there as well. I am your Axis Shoutcaster and your allied scum. Across the war table with me, Justice. Take away the action. 5 seconds to game start.
Well, The good thing about DeathTouch's offense there, Warwitch, is really they weren't content to just wait and assume. Instead, when they did get the documents, they automatically had one man go back up to where the documents are normally housed, so that as soon as the teammate dropped the documents, all of a sudden they'd have it right back in their possession. And I think that's a smart move, because it keeps the defense reeling, for which they never get a break, they never get a rest. They're always running around chaotically trying to keep up with those documents. But the game has started, so I'll let you follow the action.
Well, a quick rundown for you. DeathTouch, slUtTer, SamsteiN, aezo, Prodigy, Mozart, KaTO, and Flatline, Axis, Offense, jonez, jonez, Rem, shams, Best, Chaotic, and Primer are now on the Allied defense. Incoming attempt right there. Dynamite planted near the service door. That would be brought to you courtesy of the DeathTouch team, who are now incoming to the service hallway. Trying to move as fast as they can to get inside. Let's make a check on the Dynamite real quick for you. Tick, tick, ticking away, and it looks like we're going to have just a rockin' party there in a moment. Incoming DeathTouch, Leutman, aezo, securing the doorway, making sure there is no disarm attempt. Doorway is now secured, waiting for the doorway to explode. It has been breached, but here comes DarkSide on the other side. Incoming Allied Stormtroopers. It is Shams who leads the attack right there, and once again, Justice taking the time, that extra moment, to use his machine gun on the corpse of incoming DeathTouch bodies. Oh,
yeah, very important move on the side of DarkSide here. Another thing is Rem making his way through the corridors to the forward deployment, did reclaim that forward deployment flag, so DeathTouch has recently just spawned back in their original position. However, and a nice little grenade time there. Rem dropping the grenade behind a couple of boxes, waiting for those DeathTouch players to run by. A good timing as it explodes and takes out a couple of them. Which they are making a play near the service door. We've got 4 men for the DarkSide teams playing defense. We've got Chaotic, Best, and a whole bunch of people running down here. DeathTouch trying to push through that doorway, unable to so far. But now they do get through with some help from aezo and his MP40. DeathTouch making his way outside, not attacking the documents, but instead favoring the spawn camping move here by dropping a couple of the smoke grenades, signaling for an Axis airstrike outside of the DarkSide spawn. DarkSide remains in control, however, and I'm following Primer and his teammate Jones as they have the documents well in hand. Warwitch, back to you.
Well, DarkSide here definitely got things in hand. Highest score at the moment, DSNAS, 11 points versus slUtTer at 8. The DT team. DarkSide Jones here, upper tier, machine gun fired down. There's an incoming Axis member right there, tries to bring it home. Not only is he shot down, but he eats a Panzer and then a grenade. Just for kicks. Take that on, Preseason. You're not coming back for that. Machine gun fire, Panzer, and grenade. It is over. Game over. DS Jones still upper tier, backed up by DS Best and DS Primer. Medics and Leutnants respectively in control here on Ice tonight. Score 1-1. Battle of the Titans this evening. DarkSide proven that the loss of their key critical leaders is not going to stop them from being the dominant team that they've always been. Objective grab, objective taken right there, picked up by, again, Mozart and Primer making the nice revivals right there, but DS comes out on top. DS Best right there. Very just incredible reviving going on right here from the DT team. It's Mozart and Primer, 2 medics back and forth, are surrounded by 3 of the DS members, and they make revivals. They revive one falls, revive another falls. It was a dance of death for at least a solid 30 seconds, but ultimately the 3 members of DarkSide came out on top, Justin.
Yeah, it was entertaining. They never really stood a chance because none of them ever got a chance to whip out the gun and actually do any kind of killing. But they were able to, after being resurrected, sneak that needle back into their teammates. So we watched that sequence of events repeat itself about 5 or 6 times. The result, however, is that DarkSide in control. They have 3 men this time. This time around going with a heavier defense up top near the documents. Probably with the hopes of trying to prevent DeathTouch from sneaking that extra offense up there. And preventing them from getting the instant recapture once the documents are dropped. Warwitch, back to you, buddy. I don't see
very important, absolutely, to make sure that a recapture, a re-grab of the documents cannot happen. DSRM! Panzerfaust right there. No, taken out. It is, no, the incoming DT team is blasted by DS Rim, a killing machine here tonight. And really bringing down the carnage. He is the Panzer Grenadier this evening, making it happen right there for the DarkSide team. He is currently on the wall by the courtyard gates. He's got the Panzerfaust out. He's looking for any incoming, and he's got an eye. Not only can he cover incoming from the Allied barracks to try to loop around, but he can also cover incoming from below. And that is a good thing as DT slUtTer comes out. He doesn't see him, and slUtTer, the medic, is now going to move up the wall. He's now on the upper tier. He's going to try to get the grab. He pulls out the pistol, makes the grab, is now going to try. Lost a lock on him, pops down. slUtTer now with the attempt to bring it home is going to hop inside, now into the service hallways, and away he goes. He is now moving past his own 10-yard line now, or the enemy 10-yard line, trying to bring it home for a touchdown. Trying to bring it home now. He's moving to about the 40-yard line. He's now in the service hallways. He's met up right there by what appears to be DS Naz, who secures the objective, and it is returned. The Allied team, DarkSide tonight, DT Axis, 3 of 56 on the clock. Very nice DarkSide defense. Back to you.
Yeah, DarkSide scrambling to try to find those objectives. Naz comes out, wins the one-on-one Thompson versus pistol. Reclaims it with a clutch move, Warwitch. And now we see Chaotix defending against Flatline up top. He's the only man on defense, and I wonder if, yes, they just respawn, so look for the DarkSide team to get back into position and have a good hold on the objectives right now.
Now I'm back in game, visiting the land of IRC for a moment, as the land of multitasking. DT, KaTO now in the service hallways. 3:14 remains. DT now really have got a solid 3 minutes, Justice. That is plenty of time for a grab. The time is running out. DT now regrouping. We've got Prodigy the medic now moving forward with his companions as they advance into a bloody heap of fallen Axis and Allied bodies in the lower section of the Allied fortress. Now moving outwards, we've got DS Jones right here. Looks like he's lagging out. He might be dropping from the server, which is going to cost the DarkSide and definitely work against them here tonight. 2:47 on the clock. DS Chaotix upper tier engaging in battle against DT slUtTer, who's a medic. slUtTer dropping the grenades, pulling out the pistol, runs out of ammo, then is charged by Chaotix and backed up by his compatriots. But while that is going down, KaTO with the grab attempt, dropping an airstrike, but then from the other side, takes heavy machine gun fire and artillery fire. Objective is returned and secure. 2:23 remain. Score 1-1. Uno, mano y mano. 7-on-7 fun. TSN, Team Sportscast Network, here tonight. DT versus DarkSide. Battle of Champions. Cal Invite Preseason. Week 2. All you.
Wow, Warwitch, that was impressive. Pharaoh gets back in, looking to take DarkSide Jones' place, but he is yet to join the Allied team, so we're still looking at a 6-on-7 situation. However, DarkSide not letting them slow themselves down with that. In staunch control of the objectives. They have 4 men on top, holding back the DeathTouch attack. But for how long, Warwitch? We'll find out. slUtTer makes his way up the ladder, grabs the objective, hops all the way down. Warwitch all the way down to the cell. He didn't even bother landing on the middle plateau there, and that earned him an insta-gib splatter. And DarkSide manages, due to that, to remain in control in a strange series of events.
It's like,
back to you.
It's like diving into an empty Axis swimming pool. Not an Allied swimming pool. You gotta throw in the Axis to everything. That's my job as the Axis Shoutcast. It's like diving into an empty swimming pool. Leaps off and whoops, plunges right down into the little hole of oblivion. Game over. Shatters his legs. His shins just explode from his kneecaps.
Shattered everything.
In pain, screaming for a medic, but it's just not gonna happen. 52 seconds remains. DarkSide Pharaoh now in-game in place of Jones. Jones is now out. 7-on-7 DarkSide Pharaoh now with a 93 ping. He's already got 3 kills. 41 seconds remains. DS going to maintain control despite the loss of Jones and the incoming Allied defender on DarkSide of Pharaoh. They are going to maintain control with the 32 seconds remaining. Incoming DeathTouch trying to bring it home. No, it denied. DarkSide say goodnight ain't going to happen. The Allies triumph here tonight. For victory and for honor. 21 seconds. It looks like the time is going to be set to a full time, giving DarkSide a chance to bring the retribution and score another point, Justin. Yeah,
DarkSide doing a good job against the DeathTouch. The last last few seconds there, about 50 seconds remaining, we had two DeathTouch players getting up, going for the document grabs, and if they had been able to get it off the tower, they may have been able to squeeze it in under the time limit, but kudos to DarkSide as defense holds tight, manages to take both of them down, and secure the win for that first half of the round. Now they'll have the entire full clock time to answer and hopefully steal a win for their side.
Will that happen in this monumental matchup tonight? This is the kind of matchup we love to shoutcast. Bringing it for you on TSN, station identification, and back with more. TSN. The goggles, they do nothing. 9. The goggles, they do nothing. 9. Welcome back. Team Sportscast Network monumental listeners dialed in. 4 seconds on the clock. And role reversal yet again. DS Axis. They've got the full time on the clock. A solid 10 minutes versus DT on the Allied defense. Justice. Stratmaster for the Allied Shoutcasting TSN team. Away we go.
Well, I don't know about the Stratmaster, but we have seen some interesting configurations here with Warwitch, and both teams sort of adjusting and readjusting as they see fit. The trend early on was to start off with less people up near the documents and more people in the shipping halls themselves, but as the game has progressed, that trend is reversed. We're now seeing at least 3 or 4 people up on top at all times, that is once the service door is blown. So it goes to show that the inner fighting not quite as effective on defense, as the Axis team tends to have the advantage there, but instead the defense falling back into the high ground position, using that as their advantage. Warwitch, I'm going to let you take the action away, as it looks like DarkSide does have solid control of the forward deployment lane.
Absolutely, and mad props to DS Naz. He was acting as an Axis, just ambush artist right there. Several incoming DT Allied defenders really tried to retake that flag, but alone and solo picked them off one by one, enabling his fellow teammates from the DarkSide to gear up now, and now they've got a massive push. It is now just World War II, 1944 on the snow-capped mountains here of ice, as DarkSide now push forward as an organized panzer unit, but they are meeting heavy resistance by the watch tower, but not for long. Mozart right there pays the piper and just goes down, sliding down the hilltop. Machine gun fire to the forward forehead right there, as opposed to the backward forehead. I don't know what that means. Incoming DarkSide primer and Pharaoh. They're now moving their way by the watchtower, Justice, and they might be moving to the Allied spawn. I'm not exactly sure of their objective, but they're moving by the watchtower, now moving towards the Allied spawn. Primer and Pharaoh taking machine gun fire from high above in the upper tier, and Pharaoh's down, but he is just going to get revived right there by Primer, and we've got a dynamite plant near the fortress wall. Justice, what is happening in the Allied fortress itself?
Well, the Allied fortress seems secure, Warwitch. The shipping halls of mild fighting, as you see Shams fighting now one-on-one with Mozart, pistol to Thompson. Shams does come out on top. He's moving up, and we do have a grab. Warwitch, I lost it. Do you see where it went?
DS Best right there, proving that he is the best soldat of all time. Medic, rather, with the grab, skiing downwards, hits the wall, and decides he's not going to take it over that direction. He's going to take it into the shipping hallways by the service doorway. He's all alone. He's a medic. He's got the life. He's got that extra life that's going to help him make the long walk back to the Allied transmission station. Now he's leaving, and he's moving into the south connection. Now on the south connection, rather than north connection, is moving to the south connection with the half track. He's now backed up. Behind him, DS Naz, engineer, dropping grenades. No sign of an ambush. DS Best bringing it home. 6:50 remains on the clock. No sign of ambush. Still looking for DT. DT not in position. Tries to bring it home with ease. Scores it right there and scores the cap. That's going to be another point right there for DarkSide. Brings the score 2-1. The Axis successfully beat the clock. DS Best 35 score versus the 11 score. Top score for DT. Clearly a game, a round dominated by the DarkSide as the score moves to a 2-1 objective. Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing, Warwitch. That was the fastest cap by far so far in this match. Best doing a good job to get down there, but I don't know where the defense was, man. I mean, that was a long trek, and he didn't see any sort of defense along the way. It's kind of surprising, based on that such a defense we've seen previous to that. And good thing for the DeathTouch team that was round 2, because that would be a hard time to try to beat.
And we are live, and we are back. All
I need ammo.
Looking good, and well, okay. Sorry, I just had an Axis spy come into my room, and he leaves me a note. It's my roommate. He says, Dana has the Lord of the Rings on DVD right here, right now, no fooling. Well, I know what I'm doing after the game, Lord of the Rings time, but let's forget about that. We now head in game, and wow, carnage galore exploding all over, and DT just really trying to hold down that flag area. They are the Allied defense right there. Dynamite plant from DarkSide on the actual service doorway itself, and things are looking good. Score 2-1. Justice, clarify that for me. Want to make sure I have not got lost. The Chaosium, 2-1 should be the score here tonight.
2-1 is the score. DarkSide does have the lead here. Surprisingly enough,
I need ammo.
Given a good, strong showing here. But the way that this match has gone, we don't know how it's going to turn out. Both teams have seemingly had very strong offensive pushes, and at the same time, very poor offensive pushes. Both teams being held the entire time at least once throughout the match, and both teams also having very fast caps throughout the match. So it's kind of a guessing game at this point. I guess we'll see how it turns out, Warwitch. There's a lot of fighting going underneath the Axis base, or the Allied base, excuse me. DeathTouch and DS fighting, trading tit for tat here. A lot of medic revive, a lot of Panzer fire, and I'm gonna wait it out. See who comes on top. Team on offense.
Losing you there on buddy phone, not to cut you off.
You lost me?
Yeah, lost you for a moment, but we're back. DarkSide, the Axis offense, 7-on-7. DS best the 14 score here on the 51 King. He is leader right now. DS rushes, trying to set the time on the clock here tonight. The map is ice. DT now in a defensive upper tier formation around the documents themselves. And here on server number 1, RTCW continues. If you're dialed in and you're wanting to hear Unreal Tournament, it is server number 2 online for you right now on the Team Sportscast Network. 748 remains. My name is Warwitch. Justice coming at you as well. And very nice offensive action, but the DT defense really holding strong this time. They got caught with their pants down last time, Justice. That ain't gonna happen a second time. You can count that if there is a DarkSide grab, they're gonna have an ambush waiting for him back at the Axis transmitting station.
Yeah, DeathTouch doing a good job of not losing composure. After last round, it would be easy to get down on yourself and start second guessing, but it looks like they're back to their original 2-man on the top document formation with a couple guys in ambush position around the lower service door, including a Panzerfaust flatline, again taking out Pharaoh and Chaotic, and now moving forward with the grenade, but is cut down. Prodigy now engaging Sham. Sham's doing his best. Sham takes him out, but then loses his hat. SamsteiN makes Sham drop his hat, but Sham's followed by 3 DarkSide teammates. Looks like it's going to be a 3-on-1, and I don't think SamsteiN's going to be able to hold off for long. No, as he goes down, Warwitch. But that's the incoming DarkSide taken out by aezo support fire. So evidently good communication among the DC team, as the guys in the shipping lanes were able to signal to the guys up top to drop that airstrike and grenades, and when the offense came through, they were instantly gift, Warwitch. Brilliant communication, and I'll turn it back over to you.
DarkSide best engineer leans over fortress wall, flyers are out, says, "Oh, trying to make the arm, and just no." It's over. Thus far, DarkSide they're not able to make, they've not destroyed the fortress wall. Fortress wall remains. They've reached the service doorway very quickly, but the upper tier defense from DeathTouch is really just cutting apart the incoming DarkSide team. DS Naz with the plant on the reverse side of the fortress wall makes the plant before he's obliterated from above by an incredible amount of machine gun fire, and then his body is blown to smithereens by an incoming airstrike. But the dynamite is down. Looking for DeathTouch, do not see any engineers in position, so likely the fortress wall is going to get breached. It is SamsteiN here, Lieutenant, dropping some grenades over the wall, but no, DeathTouch going to let the wall go, and they're going to fall back into a tunnel defense as well as a 3-man strong defense on the upper tier. They are fighting for the service doorway as DarkSide now rushes in. Shams and Companion, but both the Axis members go down, and it looks like they are killed by SamsteiN's Thompson, who lays down the carnage in the hallways by the service doorway where the grenades are exploding and the pineapples and the potato mashers are going off as Axis and allies go head-to-head tonight. Diaz, Shams, and Naz moving forward under heavy grenade fire and spam. DarkSide now trying to get through the service doorway, but SamsteiN is there again and backed up by Panzerfaust action. Very nice from, you guessed it, just the incredible flatline. It is just denial for DarkSide. They cannot justice get through. They cannot get through that service doorway. Back to you.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Warwitch, we're seeing outside near the main entrance up on the hill. Brilliant work by Mozart, DeathTouch player on the defense, holding off 3 DarkSide members coming through almost single-handedly as his teammate was taken down. He was later revived, but Mozart doing a really good job of staying alive and taking out DeathTouch players as they come. Not seeing a lot of incoming DeathTouch players right now. 4:09 on the clock. They start to need to get a little hustle on here, Warwitch. They still have a lot of time, but it's winding down. And I'm going to let you take the action back, my friend.
We're at the 4-minute warning here tonight. The Axis TSN Axis Radio here this evening. I am Warwitch, Justice with me. And here comes DarkSide. They lost control of the flag itself, but now regain control. They do not leave a man behind, instead favoring a 3-man strike force to move into the shipping doorway. Here again, they are meeting resistance. A lot of the DS members are being just engaging DT all over as they run in circles trying to kill each other and lay each other down in the field. Flatline right there. DT working vigilantly against DarkSide, but ultimately DarkSide comes out on top right there as the Axis triumph finally in the service doorway and now are gonna regroup. Very nice. The fortress wall is breached as well. We've still got DT aezo on the left-hand side of the upper tier, firing downwards as a lieutenant. He's got enough ammo, backed up by slUtTer, the medic, dropping the medic packs for him, and a lot of action going on. Pharaoh's Panzerfaust obliterates DT aezo. Good night. See ya. Time to respawn. Wouldn't want to be it. More airstrikes around the fortress itself as the incoming allied, or rather the allied defense, are facing off against the incoming DarkSide. DarkSide primer. Score lead 21, but not to be touched by DT Prodigy. Justice with a 31 score thus far and 240 remaining.
I need ammo.
All you.
Yeah, and now we're looking at Mozart falling back up to the documents, trying to be the last leg of defense. Looks like Naz and Primer from the DarkSide team are up on top, trying to make a play for the documents. But Mozart is able to hold them off long enough to get support from the respawned allied defense. slUtTer and aezo getting back into position. So Mozart doing, again, a brilliant job, doing 1 versus 2, able to hold them off long enough for his friends to come give him some backup. Looks like DeathTouch remains in control of the documents, Warwitch. And we're now following Prodigy and SamsteiN as they're chasing a DarkSide player out and around and through the hallways. Yeah, Warwitch is going crazy. Action all over the place as DeathTouch and DarkSide players spawning and dying and spawning and resurrecting their fallen comrades. Warwitch, I'm going to let you take the action away from me because I'm getting a little crazy here, my friend.
A little crazy? That's all good. It's war. It's 1944. Allied and Axis battling for the flag area, and let me tell you right there, DS Pharaoh with the long-range Panzerfaust. Oh, nothing more beautiful than a Panzerfaust arcing across the heavens to impact the wall of the Allied fortress and just lay the smackdown. Nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning right here on TS. And 1 minute, 6 seconds remains. DarkSide, DT, DarkSide on offense. They're running out of time. DT really shutting down the defense here. Wow, they learned their lesson that last round that cost them the point. They learned how DarkSide is gonna think, and now they are shutting it down, but they are still down 1 point. And this next round for them, if they can hold off DarkSide for another 45 seconds, Justice is a critical time for them to bring home the documents and bring the game to a 2-2 tie. Wouldn't that just be the cat's meow? It's been a long time since we've seen a game like that. Objective taken. And the Axis lands the kittens off unfleeing as the Axis carrier is killed and the grab unsuccessful. Oh, man. 23 seconds on the clock. Justice, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like DeathTouch is going to hold strong as the time is very quickly running out on DarkSide. 14 seconds left, no chance for them to score here. Looks like DT is going to have the entire, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm not quite sure, to come back here and try to take that point like you said. Now, I have some preseason results from other matches in Warwitch. Looks like we have the Doctors over Affliction, 3-0. Clan KaTO, CK over Vanguard, 3-0. And the upset of the night, Hostile Incorporated, taking out the Stickmen, also 3-0 Warwitch. So, despite this close so far 2-1 battle, everyone else seems to be doing real quick 3-0 games, man. What's up with that?
Well, it seems like we chose the right game to cover tonight. Doctors demonstrating they are a powerhouse team. Defeating Affliction 3-0, that is not anything to boast about right there. Tonight's focus, however, 11 seconds remaining here on the clock tonight. 10 minutes on the clock for DT to try to bring it home and score themselves the cap. Justice. Wow, what a game we're having thus far. Pick up the action, 1 second, 0 seconds, and we are in game and good to go.
Alright, I'm going to follow Shams exclusively here. Following his engineer moving into the beginning of the underground tunnel area, making his way towards the forward deployment flag. Shams moving through, trying to set up a little perimeter defense with his friends Best and Chaotic. Now moving through to the service door, trying to do a little Laurel and Hardy maneuver with his buddies through the door, getting stuck, but one of them relents and they sneak through. It looks like DeathTouch does have the plant down, and they do have 3 or 4 guys around defending it, so I don't think DarkSide is going to be able to get in there and defuse, but they're doing a good job of keeping that flag. Oh, my bad, I spoke too soon. Guess I didn't, as Chaotic moves back, recaptures the flag, takes out aezo, but then is taken out by Prodigy, who then revives aezo, takes control of the flag, and looks like the DarkSide is going to be pushed back here, Warwitch. Back to you.
DeathTouch right there. Lancing was the DarkSide, able to control the flag staging area. SamsteiN here, DT Lieutenant, waiting, standing by for a regroup or respawn. Now moving up to the service doorway. He gets the command to move forward. Now moves forward alone. Peers around the corner. Moving into the lower hallways. Drops a grenade. Incoming DS Primer. SamsteiN comes at Primer from behind. And who's going to come out on top? SamsteiN comes out on top right there. A little ambush right there. There's the Allied scum. DT Axis. SamsteiN Lieutenant now moving up to the upper tier through the series of ladders moving upwards. And what is going on? What happened?
I just saw DS Shams take out 3 people with the Phantom Boss. Big blast right outside near the Fortress Hall. But the offensive Axis team does have 2 dynamite plants near the Fortress Wall. For some reason, they both exploded, but neither of them took the wall out. So I suppose it was a ruse from the DarkSide team trying to throw DeathTouch off track, thinking that trying to make them think that the wall had already been planted by their comrades, so it does remain intact. Looks like DeathTouch once again, Warwitch, we've seen this a few times, going out of the service door and instead of moving up to the document, trying to make a play for the spawn camp by dropping a few well-placed airstrikes. They do manage to take out one man, but they both go down in return, so not particularly effective thus far, yet they seem to be sticking with it. Warwitch, I see Prodigy moving up near the documents. He's engaging Chaotic. Chaotic goes down. Oh my gosh, he has the documents. He's moving underground now. He's all alone. Prodigy, the medic with extra health, now meets up with his buddy. Can't see with his Mozart. Mozart and Prodigy moving the documents through the hallway. They're now outside on the Axis side of this map, taking their way near the half-track, Warwitch. I don't see any kind of DarkSide resistance here, so unless they're lying in wait,
here they come,
it looks like it could be a capture.
DarkSide trying to come from the south connection, but it is denied by Mozart. There's the cap from DT Prodigy. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen, soldiers and soldats? The score is 2-2. DT versus DarkSide in the closest matchup in the Cal Invites tonight. Justin, what a game.
Oh my.
My, we'll be back. Little message from the Axis Panzer Kittens, and back with more to talk about this incredible matchup tonight.
They're coming! My God! Did you hear that? Come, let's go! Snake,
Tonight, TSN brings you RTCW.
Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
2-2. Who knew it could happen like this here tonight? Game is underway. Oh, Axis DT, DarkSide allies. Game is on. Justice, fill us in on the 7-on-7 action tonight.
Yeah, DarkSide, like you said, starting out on defense here, they do seem to have a good presence as they are able to take out almost exclusively all the DeathTouch members without losing any of them of their own members. Although it does seem that Prodigy and Mozart for the DeathTouch team have gotten a plant down at the service door and are very successful at holding it against that DarkSide team, trying to defuse Warwitch. DarkSide trying to attack, not being that successful. However, yes, the service door does go down. I'm watching Rem from DarkSide waiting in the service door, waiting to let loose with the Panzer of Fury on any DeathTouch that may invade his domain. Warwitch, I'm going to let you take the action as I don't see any kind of DeathTouch whatsoever.
Well, DarkSide themselves using a very forward-oriented strat. They're moving forward, trying to intercept once again and slow down the DeathTouch Axis team as much as possible. They are now backing up. They had been in position there against the incoming DarkSide Axis spawn, or rather DT Axis spawn, rather. DarkSide now are holding the flags, and we've got a grab. How did that happen? Somehow the Axis DT team made a grab right there. It looks like it is returned and then grabbed, and then who's got the grab? I do not know. What's going on, Justice? All you.
Well, I tell you what, it looks like Prodigy had the grab, the re-grab, and then as he jumped off the tower, was taken out with the mid-air headshot. Mid-air headshot, drops the documents on the box. DS recovers the documents, now in strong defensive position, 3 men on top, but here comes slUtTer and Mozart, trying to make their day a lot worse. As both of them going down, KaTO with the big play, taking out both DeathTouch invaders. That was an incredible sequence of events, and it looks like DeathTouch now is reeling, trying to regroup underground, and I'm going to let you follow that action, buddy.
Well, DarkSide in control. They were pushed back there briefly. DeathTouch moving forward like a knight on horseback, trying to gain the penetration on the upper tier, but no. Shielded defense there from DarkSide. Primer and Companions upper tier denies them any entrance to the objective. We've got DT aezo.
Warwitch.
What's going down?
We just saw a 5-man Panzer Blast on the part of DS Rem. 5 DeathTouch go down. No team kill whatsoever, and this is gonna be great for the DarkSide team as they remain in control. 6:45. That was a big play, my friend.
An incredible play of plays that I missed, but thank you for picking that one up. It's DarkSide now. Move back to the service doorway. It is DS Best Soldat. Oh, he's got the grenades in hand. Guess what else he's got? A Panzerfaust loving right there for any of the incoming DT members. Now to the service hallways. Now moving outwards towards the flag. Ambushed. Good night. Oh, gang rape. Can I use that on air? I don't know. He was moving forward.
You just did, my friend.
Surrounded by the Axis, who just pistol whipped him into oblivion. Oh, imagine being the lone ally and you walk into a room and there's 6 Axis guys looking at you with their arms crossed. That's exactly what happened. Wow, DarkSide primer upper tier. Machine gun fire down the ladder as the incoming DT team trying to rush upwards, and not going to happen. DT now still held off. They are the Axis team. No, we got a grab. It is flatline. I lost the grab. Let's try to pick him up. Do you have a lock on
Objective
flatline?
secured.
Yeah, Nas got back under control, caught the documents before they got out of the service door area, and was able to return them with a one-on-one battle. It looks like DarkSide has one man, Pharaoh, up top, but here comes slUtTer. slUtTer does have a grab, hopping out the window, all the way down, off the tree, Warwitch. He jumps off the tree, lands on the ground, alive, but then is taken out by some SamStein documents sitting there. Warwitch, the Axis player, walked right by the Allied documents, didn't see it, and they were returned in the nick of time.
That's going to cost
craziness.
Oh, that's going to cost him right there. They had an attempt right there. A little tree hug and grab right there from slUtTer tries to bring it home. DS Rim right there. DT SamStein sweeps into the small little objective room to grab the documents, but no. A little Panzerfaust from long range blows him away with his hands on the grubby little documents. He was like a kid grasping for the cookies, and he just got pimp-slapped. Long range Panzerfaust. Objective grab, objective secure, objective now back and secure. 4-3-4 remains, and it looks like we might have someone timing out. I'm not sure about that. DS Best, upper tier. Panzerfaust action. DS Pharaoh, Panzerfaust, upper tier. Chaotix, Lieutenant, and DS Primer Medic. We got a double Panzerfaust, a Lieutenant and Medic combo in the upper tier of the Allied fortress for DarkSide. And now the Allies reclaim the shipping hallways. Pharaoh of DarkSide lays down the hurt of the Panzerfaust in the main courtyard. And incoming DT flatline, Leutman is all alone. His comrades are dead and dying in the field. One-man strike force denied. Another Panzerfaust right there. DS Best blows him away.
Ammo.
Back to you.
And Warwitch, that was an amazing sequence. All we saw on the left-hand side was DeathTouch. DarkSide players taking out all the DeathTouch players. No one on the DS side goes down whatsoever. A couple of great Panzer shots there, taking out multiple kills from Best and Pharaoh, like you said. And 3:30 on the clock here. DeathTouch has to be a little concerned, Warwitch. If they can't at least get the documents at some point in this round, then the best that they can hope for is a tie, sending this into double overtime. Warwitch, the action is picking up, so I'm going to let you call it.
Well, we've got the action upper tier DS Primer, machine gun fire, incoming invader. DT aezo takes advantage of his Axis superiority and his superior aim, and gains control of the left-hand side of the upper tier. Drops a massive airstrike. This is going to hurt. DS scrambles away from it, trying to get the hell away, and they are able to do so. And Axis presence for DT is now no longer on the upper tier, but rushing upwards. DT Mozart, the medic, is trying to Blitzkrieg upwards. Does so, surpassing one, surpassing two. It is now DT KaTO. Leutman dropping the ammo. He's got the grab. Now DT have cleared off the upper tier. He's taking the time to kill a corpse. You gotta like that. He's got the objective grab, and he pauses to just add insult to injury, skiing down the hilltop, and then striking the fortress wall, backed up. Now he's got backup justice, and we're going to carry him into the service hallways. Now, moving inside, KaTO now weaving and dodging like a drunken driver, making his way through the service halls. He's backed up by half of his team. He's now in the connection tunnels and moving his way out. He's now in the north connection. No, south connection. He's backed up with two members behind him. 208 remains. Here come the DarkSide chasing behind him. Do they have an ambush? Yes! DarkSide have an ambush waiting for him. It is nice ambush right there, but picked up again by Mozart.
Oh, no!
Time, and he brings it home for the point. Clock is set to 8:04. Did you see that? Oh, wow.
I saw it. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's what this game is all about, Warwitch. Rem waiting in the documents little tower there, waiting for the documents to come to him. He's able to take out the first man with the documents, but not the second. Very close to a return there. Great action, great events. And that was some excitement, Warwitch. Man, now about 8 minutes left on the clock, though. That's a lot of time for the Axis team of DS to answer. Warwitch, what are your thoughts on that last play we just saw, man?
You know, I'm not surprised. Not surprised to see the DarkSide had a man in position right there to intercept the DeathTouch capper. but it just wasn't enough. DeathTouch team warfare right there. They had just too many men for the one man of DarkSide. Not gonna happen. Denied. And game over. It was DarkSide Rem, I believe, was it, that was in the ambush position. Either him or Naz, I can't quite remember. But I'll listen to the Shoutcast here a little bit later tonight. And the game is underway yet again. 7:46 on the clock, my friend. DT versus DarkSide. If I'm not mistaken, DT's in a position to win this game. Back to you.
Dynamite.
Actually, DeathTouch does have the momentum here, but it's not a lot because 8 minutes is an eternity on this map, and DarkSide has definitely shown that they can beat that time. So we're going to see a very intense round here. It's all going to come down to this, Warwitch, as DT doing a little advanced defense here, keeping the service tunnels clear of the DarkSide invaders. DarkSide, Pharaoh, and it looks like Chaotix and Rem getting in control of that forward deployment flag. So they have that. The service door is breached, Warwitch, and now they're moving out towards the main entrance there, out into the hills. And I'm going to let you call it, buddy.
Well, DarkSide ultimately gained a very fast Blitzkrieg style attack, and as they're coming out of the service hallways, DT KaTO Lieutenant is machine gunning down from the hilltop right there, trying to kind of weaken any of the incoming members right there, and it's working. DT is in just selective different pronged positions. A double-pronged position where the outgoing, or rather incoming DarkSide axis are being cut apart by the machine gun fire from two sides, but ultimately it does not avail the DeathTouch team for long. Their defense falters slightly. We've got a lot of action happening somewhere, but I do not see where. Not much going on around the Allied fortress currently guarded by the DeathTouch team. 6:08 on the clock. DT really needs to lock it down. If they can lock it down here, Justice, then it is going to be a 3-2 score and game over. Back to you.
I need ammo.
And it looks like DarkSide making a good, strong push in the underbelly of the base. As I'm following Shams as he's making his way up to the top, up to the ladder, but is cut down. DeathTouch waiting for him on the top of the ladder, takes him out, gets his body. But DarkSide does have quite a big presence underneath there. But no, DarkSide, Naz, and his buddy Best both taken down in the shipping corridors, trying to resurrect, but unsuccessfully, as the staunch defense on the top of the tower, aezo and slUtTer, with a long-range Thompson fire, able to cut them down before they could get told.
DarkSide.
Oh my!
Service doorway right there. Incoming Allied, or rather Axis SS division for DarkSide, led up by DS Best. Hamza Zefaust to the head. 3 DT go down, and that's going to enable the DarkSide to really get a push here. A decisive push as their capper now moves into positions. It is Shams, but he's not backed up, and Shams is mowed down like so much grass in the field by DT, slUtTer the medic, who then machine gun fires down, and the rest of the DarkSide team is ambushed in the courtyard. DT flatline soldier. He's got the bazooka in hand. He's now in the service hallways just beneath. Oh, firing it right down right there. Flatline engaging, but he's going to get engaged by DS Best. Little Panzerfaust versus Panzerfaust action. DS Best comes out on top. Then Prodigy and Best explode as a grenade is dropped right there in the lower service hallways. Objective still not grabbed. 421. The hopes of DarkSide now ticking away. DarkSide has a lot to prove here tonight. They've got to bring those documents home to bring it to a tie. Score 3-2. DT is up. Justice, back to you.
Yeah, Warwick, like you said, DarkSide needs to show a point tonight, and I think they have, regardless of the outcome of this match, and it's not anywhere near completion yet. DarkSide has come out strong and shown that they still are a clan to fear. Warwitch, as we see slUtTer defend a touch by Shams. Shams got up there, got the touch, but was alone. slUtTer turning around and able to take him out. Now we're seeing slUtTer take on 2-on-1 random climbers. slUtTer comes out on top, winning the 2-on-1 battle. However, the DS team too much and too many as the medics resurrect, and now only slUtTer, once again alive, resurrected to stand in between DarkSide and the objective. Rem does have a grab. Looks like he's working his way over towards the wall side, resurrecting his fallen comrade. Long-range Thompson fire takes him out, but DS Best, the medic, able to resurrect him, skied over the wall. The documents are actually up on the hillside, and this may pose a problem because Warwitch, they're going to be hard to get. They're up high, and you're going to have to. We're going to have to see if Rem can jump over the wall right at the exact spot, ski down, grab the docs on his way down. Instead, not attempting it. Instead, in the favor of trying to defend the position, gets cut down. Documents are out, and I guess they've been returned.
Returned by
I don't know how,
default.
but they went back.
Returned by default. Too much time in the field. Documents are then returned. Very nice attempt. DarkSide had clear control of the upper tier. They made very good revival attempts right there. They tried to relay the documents across the upper tier and ski them downwards, but DeathTouch machine gun fire just too accurate. MP40 and Thompson's DT now in regained control of the upper tier. DarkSide really gonna have to bring it hard right here in 2:09. History in the making. Axis have taken the documents. DarkSide have got to bring it home, but the Allies make the return. 2 minutes remaining right here. DS Primer, another grab attempt. His team rooting him on. He's now got the run. He is a medic, upper tier. Now hopping off the far left-hand side. Machine gun fire exploding in the snow, skiing down as the Axis skis. Somehow stays alive and gets it inside, but he's being chased down, dropping munitions, no medic packs behind him, taking machine gun fire from behind, dodges behind some crates. DS Primer, like just an incredible quarterback, diving through an amazing array, ladies and gentlemen, of DT, body blocking, carnage allied scum. Oh, ambushed in the field! DS Primer on the long run, trying to bring it home from the connection tunnel. Ambushed, but stays alive, now backed up by the rest of the DarkSide team. 120 remains, Justice. He's going to try to bring it home. He's moving towards the half track right here. He's now got support all over him. I do not see any incoming DeathTouch. I think he's going to do it. Justice 109 remains. Take it away. Take us home.
Following Primers, making the last 10. 5. Oh no!
Incredible!
Oh my goodness!
Incredible!
Warwitch flatline with the pistol. I believe it was flatline. I'm not sure for certain, but one man stood in between him and victory. Warwitch are tying the game. We are winning the game. Oh my goodness!
What a painful event.
That was amazing.
DarkSide had the grab. They had the tie. It was game tied. One man, we believe it was flatline, stood alone with a pistol against 1, 2, 3, 4 incoming DarkSide Axis members, made the return, amidst them, and secured a victory for DeathTouch tonight. DT take the win and topple DarkSide in a 3-2 score. What a game. Wow.
I'm speechless. Oh, Warwitch. That has got to be a painful lesson to this DarkSide team. And that lesson is this: the documents never go in first. Warwitch, you never go in first. When you're surrounded by teammates, there's no reason for him to try to push it in there without knowing it's clear first. And he pays the ultimate price as his team loses due to just a careless oversight, Warwitch. But so close, and such a good run. Primer, amazing with that run. Despite the ending, I can't even begin to tell you how many times he evaded certain deaths. Winding through those tunnels, bullets flying right past his head so many times. I don't even know how, I can't even tell you. Gotta watch this demo if it gets out. Primer, really an amazing play. Barry Sanders-like precision as he ran and danced his way, spun his way through the middle of the base, made his way outside only to run in to 3 defenders with their backs to him, Warwitch. They were all going towards the half track. He came out with the documents all alone, saw the 3 allied defenders, retreated immediately, but they saw him. He managed to avoid their gunfire, fall back to his friends. His friends, 3 or 4 of them in force, were able to clear out the DeathTouch team, except for the lone man in the tower, Warwitch. And that one man, that one, should I say, X Factor, made the game for the DeathTouch team.
That was perhaps the most incredible game that I have witnessed as a shoutcaster since the dreaded game of Battle on Das Beachhead. Empire versus HV, and that last 4-second plant that enabled Empire to move forward in that tournament. And tonight, it seems that you and I picked the right game this evening. What a game indeed. We're going to talk about the most valuable player. We're going to talk about Justice's X Factor Award.